Hello everybody, today we're going to talk about original sin. Growing up I never thought too much about why I sin or the nature of sin, but when I became a Christian I began hearing about sin all the time. See, in Christianity, the idea of original sin stems from the belief that the story of Adam and Eve is meant to be understood literally, as in Adam and Eve were the first two human beings created about 6,000 years ago, and that they were originally created perfectly. The problem occurred when Adam disobeyed God by eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. This act of disobedience was the very first sin, and it infected every part of Adam, so that when he passed on his seed to create children, they were born with the same sin nature. This means that every human that has ever been born has been born with that same sin nature. With that sin nature, it means that humans are basically born evil, or evil in comparison to the perfect God. That means that no matter what, we are going to sin, and that we can never be good enough to be allowed into heaven, which doesn't allow sin. When we die, God would look at us, look at our nature, and judge us. He'd say, "You're not perfect, you're evil, you can't be allowed in heaven, you need to go to hell." That's why the sacrifice of Jesus is so important. See, that punishment that humans should have received for their sin nature was given to Jesus. All we have to do is say that we accept his sacrifice, and instead of going to hell, we get to go to heaven. Now, there are a lot of different reasons why some people have issues with this belief. For one, this means that there are a lot of people throughout history that have gone to hell, no matter how good they were. All of the people that lived before Jesus, all the people who lived in areas that had never heard of Jesus, and of course all the people who practice a religion other than Christianity. There are even some denominations of Christianity that believe that other denominations are doing it wrong. There's also the implication that a newborn baby is born evil, that they will be sent to hell if they aren't saved or baptized, that they don't even have a choice in how they will be judged. Now, I don't know about you, but this is something that I've thought about a lot. I've always found it quite upsetting that people, good people, people that believed in God and did their best to help their fellow man, would still end up in hell because they practiced a different religion than Christianity. The Baha'i Faith actually addresses this concern and offers a much more simple and logical interpretation of sin. To begin, the Baha'i Faith believes that the story of Adam and Eve is not meant to be taken literally, but that it's meant to be understood symbolically. I did another video on Adam and Eve that you can check out to get more details, but the gist is that because Adam was not the actual first human, that original sin didn't actually happen. Actually, the Baha'i Faith explains that all humans are born inherently good, and that throughout their life they make choices that either help them grow spiritually or hinder their spiritual progress. The choices and actions that hinder our spiritual progress are what can be considered sin. Since God is primarily concerned with our spiritual advancement, he sees sin, or anything that's hindering that advancement, as the ultimate enemy. That is why his word and his teachings are always centered around teaching us how to make choices that will help us grow spiritually and avoid choices that will stall our progress. So to sum it up, humans are born good, not evil. Their purpose throughout their life is to grow spiritually, and God is trying to help them do it through his teachings. They can either make choices that help them grow or choices that hinder their growth. Those bad choices are what are considered sin. Now, I understand that this explanation has some pretty big implications on salvation and the sacrifice of Jesus, but I'll address that in another video. But for now, thank you for watching, and please feel free to check out some of my other videos as I continue to explore the Baha'i Faith and how it relates to common Christian traditions.